gentlemen, welcome to the 2009 NBA All-Star Game in Phoenix, Arizona, and to the biggest, hottest party in the desert. Let's get things started. It's time to meet the teams. First up for the East, the athletic trainer from the Chicago Bulls, Fred Tedeschi. The assistant coaches from the Cleveland Cavaliers, John Kuester, Melvin Hunt, and Michael Malone. In his fourth season with the Cleveland Cavaliers, Eastern Conference head coach, Mike Brown. And for the Western Conference, the athletic trainer from the Phoenix Suns, Aaron Nelson. The assistant coaches from the Los Angeles Lakers are Brian Shaw, Jim Clemens, and Kurt Rambis. And in his fourth time as an All-Star head coach and ninth year with the Los Angeles Lakers, Hall of Famer Phil Jackson. Selected to the All-Star team, but not playing tonight due to injury, from the Orlando Magic, Jameer Nelson. And from the Toronto Raptors, Chris Bosh. It's time to meet all the All-Star reserves. Starting with the guards. For the East, in his first All-Star appearance from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mo Williams. And for the West, three-time All-Star from the San Antonio Spurs, Tony Parker. Playing in his first All-Star game from the New Jersey Nets, Devin Harris. Named to his fourth All-Star game from the Denver Nuggets, Chauncey Billups. In his ninth All-Star appearance from the Boston Celtics, Ray Allen. Playing in his second All-Star game from the Portland Trail Blazers, Brandon Roy. And in his third All-Star appearance from the Atlanta Hawks, Joe Johnson. And now, the All-Star forwards. In his seventh All-Star appearance from the Boston Celtics, Paul Pierce. Two-time All-Star from the New Orleans Hornets, David West. Making his first All-Star appearance from the Indiana Pacers, Danny Granger. Two-time All-Star from the Los Angeles Lakers, Pau Gasol. Playing in his second All-Star game from the Orlando Magic, Rashard Lewis. And eight-time All-Star from the Dallas Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki. And now, for the Western Conference, a 15-time All-Star, center and one of the most dominant players in the history of the NBA. From your Phoenix Suns, the Big Shaqtus himself, Shaquille O'Neal. And now, it's time to meet the All-Star Starters. For the Eastern Conference, at guard, making his 5th All-Star appearance for the Miami Heat, Dwyane Wade. In his 10th All-Star appearance, guard for the Detroit Pistons, A.I. Allen Iverson. The top vote getter in league history with more than 3 million votes, a 3-time All-Star and center for the Orlando Magic. Let's hear it for Dwight Howard. Playing in his 12th All-Star game, forward for the Boston Celtics, KG, Kevin Garnett. Playing in his 5th All-Star game, and he's only 24 years old. From the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James. The Eastern Conference All-Star Starters. And now, the Western Conference All-Star Starters. Making his 4th All-Star appearance, forward from the Phoenix Suns, Amar'e Stoudemire. 11-time All-Star forward from the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan. He's a 7-time All-Star center from the Houston Rockets, Yao Ming. In his 2nd game as an All-Star starter and his 1st as a starter, New Orleans Hornets guard, CP3, Chris Paul. Making his 11th All-Star appearance, guard from the Los Angeles Lakers, Kobe Bryant. The Western Conference All-Star Starters. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for the Jabbawockeez, DJ Beverly Bond, DJ Sky Neller, and the 2009 NBA All-Stars.
The NBA All-Star Game, the East has won 35, the West has won 22. The East has won 3 of the last 4, and we're moments away from the opening tip. Let's check out the McDonald's starting lineups. And for the East at the guards, 5-time All-Star Dwyane Wade, along with 10-time All-Star Allen Iverson, a power-packed backcourt up front, the big ticket, Kevin Garnett, along with last season's All-Star MVP LeBron James, and the NBA's leading rebounder and shot blocker, Dwight Howard. As for the West, in the backcourt, the NBA's most valuable player last season, Kobe Bryant, along with Chris Paul, making his first All-Star start. On the front line, representing the Phoenix Suns, Amari Stoudemire, along with 11-time All-Star Tim Duncan, and Yao Ming making his 7th All-Star appearance. Right here, let's go to the public address voice of the Phoenix Suns, Jeff Scott.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Orlando Magic, please welcome Dwight Howard.
On behalf of the NBA and the players, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight and welcome you to the 58 All-Star Game. We're going to have some fun. Let's get it. Let's go.
Dwight Howard, who will be the starting center for the East. And as Doug mentioned earlier, the leading vote getter for the All-Star Game, the first player ever to exceed 3 million votes. The officiating crew here tonight, Mark Wunderlich in his 18th season, Ron Elysiak in his 21st year, and Tony Brothers in his 15th season. East and West getting ready to take the court. Reggie, we were talking yesterday about your very first All-Star appearance back in 1990 in Miami. What was the mindset at that time?
Very, very nervous. Walking in the locker room, there's Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, as we mentioned yesterday, a very skinny and svelte Charles Barkley, and all you really wanted to do was fit in and shoot threes, and that's all I did.
And Doug, you can look at it from the coaching perspective. I know you coached the East in Cleveland back in 1997, and it's not the type of game where you put in 8 out-of-bounds plays and several versions of the pick and roll.
No, this is called scripting minutes. We talked to Mike Brown before the game, and he was talking about that and how you get down with your assistant coaches and you script out the minutes to make sure, Marv, in that fourth quarter, about the 8-minute mark, guys have got their playing time, so then you can go with the guys you want to go with at that point in time to try to win the game.
Now, Mike Brown, the Cavaliers head coach, did tell us that he wants to play the 3 Celtics and the 2 Magic players, Dwight Howard and Rashard Lewis, 40 minutes plus here tonight.
He'll be getting a memo, I'm sure, from both of those general managers if that does happen.
The East in control in the dark uniforms, the blue. And here is Dwayne Wade from 3.
This guy has been on a mission. Ever since last year when he got hurt, people questioned whether or not he should have been on the Olympic team. He has been a driven man, drove into the gold medal, and he's coming back with a sensational early part of this season.
Kobe Bryant from way downtown. And back comes LeBron James. LeBron to the rim.
Well, it's going to be size versus speed. The West has the size, but the East, with LeBron James, especially in the open court, has the speed.
Amari Stoudemire. And rebounded by Dwight Howard. Amari Stoudemire has been very much in the news over the weekend, the subject of much trade speculation. At one point, reportedly, all 29 other teams had called to inquire. Wade again with a 3, and it's rebounded by Duncan.
It's always nice to be wanted. 29 teams.
You just don't want to have a fire sale to give up somebody like that. That's the only problem.
And it's very difficult to get equal value.
Exactly.
Little fadeaway move. And it's a run down by Iverson. Allen Iverson of the Detroit Pistons, who have had their problems. Oh, beautiful ball fake by Iverson.
And yes, that is Allen Iverson with the new hairdo. The cornrows are gone. And Marv, you were the one that was in his room helping him cut that,
yes,
correct?
I was.
Okay.
Very helpful that way. And here's Duncan. Tim Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs, who after a slow start have come on. They are 35-16, the second best team in the Western Conference. Garnett, yes.
2 of the best mid-range shooting big men in the game. And you're going to see Tim Duncan shoot a lot of jump shots. That's what Greg Popovich has had been doing this season. Does not want to get him beat up down on that low post, so taking a lot more jump shots this year.
Duncan. And slapped out of bounds. Last touch by Howard of the East.
Hey, Coach, the East looks much more relaxed as Allen Iverson in the open court gets into the lane. Nice little ball fake and finish. But remember the practice yesterday? The East was very relaxed. The West was a little bit more structured. The West looks a little bit tense right now.
Eastern squad trying to set Guinness Book of Records standards, of which apparently Devin Harris of the Nets was able to go from end to end with the basketball in 3.9 seconds. And we asked the question, was he trying to break anyone's record? And the answer was no. He was setting a record.
That was called being set up by some veteran teammates.
Bryant with a series of fakes and then the soft touch.
Well, Kobe Bryant last year, remember, only played about 3 minutes in this game. He had injured a finger right before the All-Star game, and I think Phil Jackson would like to keep his minutes down today as well.
Here's Wade going behind the back. Oh, and it's put down by Dwight Howard.
Well, he leads the NBA in dunks on the year, 127 already this season.
Nice crossover by Paul. Yao Ming coming up short. Kept alive by Bryant. Garnett with the rebound.
The East can run.
Wade went 1-on-2. And it's handled by Duncan. Bryant to the pull-up for three. And the rebound snatched by James. A little hop-step move here by LeBron, going right at Stoudemire. Was that the crab dribble that we just saw?
Remember when Magic used to do that? As soon as he got the rebound, he would do that like high dribble, skip down the floor.
Oh, and Paul rejected after a nice move. Foul is called. First foul of the night.
Well, Dwight Howard, we saw him last year as Superman. He was dethroned last night with a little kryptonite by Nate Robinson. But how about Dwight Howard in this block? And Marv, just to put that little block in perspective there, we talked about in our open, but he leads the NBA in blocks at almost 3 a game. He leads in rebounding, and if he leads in those 2 stats, he'll be only the 5th player in NBA history to lead in both rebounds and blocks in the same season. And as I said in the open, I think if I had to vote right now, he would be my defensive player of the year.
However, last night, Superman, defending his slam dunk championship in another spectacular competition, lost his crown to the high-flying Nate Robinson of the Knicks.
And how about that? He acted as a prop in his own defeat.
Not quite sure he was trying to pass the torch to little Nate.
Oh, Wade, uncontested. The East with a 13-6 lead. They've hit 6 of their first 10 from the field. The West just 2 of 9. Duncan over Iverson, and the tip missed by Stoudemire. Look out. Oh, James whipping by Paul has just wisely stepped away. And here's LeBron setting his feet for 3.
This guy's become such a great basketball player, Marv. He's shooting the ball better. His footwork, his release is more consistent on a nightly basis. His attention to detail has grown through the years, and he is a brilliant basketball player.
Power move by Stoudemire, then try to find Yao. The save by Iverson, but did not carry him out of bounds. Paul is on it. Here's Bryant from Paul.
Chris Paul doing a good job. Saw the loose ball, picks it up, finds Kobe Bryant streaking down the lane for the easy dunk.
Reach-in is called on Paul.
And look at Chris Paul here with the steal. Voids. LeBron James going down the lane with the finish. Another former slam dunk champion in Kobe Bryant.
Very early in his NBA career. How about LeBron saying that he's thinking of entering slam dunk next season? Nice pass from Iverson. Howard was blocked by Duncan. And again, Duncan got a piece of it. East will maintain possession. That was last touched by Duncan.
Well, the growth in Dwight Howard's game, we know he's a power player, a dunker around that lane. His game, the next expansion is going to be when he can step out and make that little 10-foot jump shot. And when he does that, he's going to be unguardable.
James coming short on a catch and shoot. A shot by Garnett.
Always amazed by how his shot has improved. When he came in as a young player out of high school, his shot was a line drive, and he lifts that ball so beautifully tonight. He's really worked so hard on getting great trajectory on that shot.
Paul stripped. Good play by Iverson. Recovered by Garnett. Wade spinning for Garnett. Back it goes. Beautifully done. LeBron James from Kevin Garnett.
Well, that's 3 excellent passing all-stars right there.
And Kobe Bryant right back. We're actually seeing, the steal by Bryant, we're actually seeing some defensive play here at the start, which we're not customary to witnessing at an all-star game in the first couple of quarters.
What I like is, too, we've seen some sensational plays, Marv, but the degree of difficulty, guys aren't throwing the ball around. It's not sloppy. It's a well-played game here early.
At times, it is schoolyard at the start. Not the case thus far. 20-10, the East on top.
The Olympic championship rings. That ceremony be at halftime. The others, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, and Chris Bosh. Back to you, Mark.
All right, guys. Several substitutions at both ends. Blocked shot. Once again, it is Dwight Howard, Paul Pierce of the Celtics, Joe Johnson of the Hawks, Devin Harris of the Nets have come on for the East. Shaquille O'Neal of the Suns and Dirk Nowitzki of the Mavs on the floor. So we have Kobe and Shaq playing together for the first time since their days as a Laker. The runner by Paul, rebounded by O'Neal. Here is Shaq, and he tips it home. Those of you who were with us for the pregame introductions with Shaq performing during the intros, I thought I was watching an updated version of Dick Clark's American Bandstand.
It was pretty good with the Jabberwockies? Very nice. I think best dance crew winners first season. I know you watch that, Mark.
I do on a regular basis. Pierce off the mark. Bryant with the rebound. Puts it between the legs. Being played by Johnson. Spinning his way. Bryant with lots of time for 3.
Kobe Bryant has come out firing in this game. What is that, his 10th shot or his 9th shot here early in this game? So
he's hit 4 of 9 here at the start. Oh, Paul eludes James. Here's the lob. Stoudemire puts it down. Nice fake in the open court. He thought LeBron James bid on it, was going to get this steal. Kept his dribble down and found Amari Stoudemire. Johnson tried to put a move on, lost the handle. Paul, who leads the NBA in steals with several spins to make his move, went behind the back. O'Neal lost it. Tried to get a little too tricky.
Yeah, he looked up and he saw Dwight Howard. He was going to try to put himself in a position, just power through him and took his eyes off the ball. But you see Chris Paul go out of the game, Marv. You know, so much expectation on this New Orleans Hornets team this year. And I see a smile on his face. I bet it's been a while since he's enjoyed playing. New Orleans has had a down year. Tyson Chandler's been hurt. Peja Stojakovic having a down year. And I'm sure this is a special day for Chris Paul to finally have a little fun.
And Paul sidelined by injury recently. Here's Harris. Ball slapped away. Good play by O'Neal. This is Brandon Roy of the Trailblazers. He just checked in. Bryant to the rim.
We were speaking with Phil Jackson before the game. He said Kobe would probably play the first 8 or 9 minutes of the first quarter, and then he'd go after that. And Kobe trying to make a statement early.
Shard Lewis of the Magic, who just came on, not able to hit. The West with an 11-0 run. They are within 1. Chauncey Billups of the Denver Nuggets, what a year he has had, has come on, sets it up for Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Shaq said that he feels good. All season long he's talked about, he's setting out some games, some back-to-backs, but he's throwing some big numbers for the Phoenix Suns this year.
Here comes Billups. What a difference he has made in the turnaround of the Nuggets. Billups coming over in that deal for Allen Iverson. Nowitzki, played by Pierce, and a foul. Holding foul on Lewis.
That's a tough matchup for Rashard Lewis guarding Shaquille O'Neal down in the low post. Probably a good foul to take there, but that's one of the things the East is going to suffer with. Really not many big men, and the West roster is loaded with big guys. So Kobe Bryant here off to a great start. Off the wrong foot, the powerful dunk. I mean, his old teammate, Shaquille O'Neal, showing he's still got it here in the inside. The power finish. The West on a 13-0 run as they lead by 1.
Everybody be careful out there. We know what we're here to do. Everybody have a good time, but take care of yourself.
Yes, sir. Man, East on 3, man. Win on 6. 1, 2, 3.
East.
4, 5, 6.
Win.
Let's go.
Yeah, look where we are. That's the All-Star game move, not NBA travel. Hey, he just jumped over 2 people, didn't he?
And Coach, most of the All-Star games I've played in, yes, the officials turn a blind eye sometimes when it comes to the traveling. They let things go a little bit because they want the fans to be entertained. So it's not going to be as stringent calls when it comes to traveling.
Marv, I've actually seen Reggie be inside the three-point line and take 2 steps back and shoot a 3, and it was fine. It was all good stuff.
Are you saying an all-star play or regular season play?
Well, a little of both. I mean, but mostly all-star, yes.
All right, here's Tony Parker of the San Antonio Spurs coming on for the first time. Ray Allen checks in for the East. Nice play. And Parker with the bucket. How about Kobe Bryant, who just took a seat? Kobe 5 for 10 from the field, 11 points, and 10 shot attempts for a quarter, just 2 off the all-time NBA All-Star record, which is held by Bill Sharman, who did it back in 1960. Bill, a member of the Boston Celtics, pretty set up for Shaquille O'Neal from Brandon Roy. Bill Sharman, who also played baseball in the Brooklyn Dodgers system. And here is Pierce kicking it out. Johnson. And a look-away outlet from O'Neal to Parker.
Shaq loves to show that he can pass. In the post, you've seen a look-away drop-off for a layup to Tony Parker. That time, the long outlet pass. And here's Rashard Lewis, the guy that leads the NBA in both makes and attempts from behind that three-point line.
And that stopped a 19-0 run by the West. 19 consecutive. Phillips from downtown, missed a big shot. Hits the long 3. It's 30-23. West. Good hustle as that ball is deflected out.
I like how Shaq is being aggressive at both ends of the floor. Right here, gets the rebound. A no-look outlet. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that, but again.
I have. I played against it. Wes Unseld was the best.
Phillips passing on a 3 and a nice lead for Tony Parker.
How about the year Tony Parker's having? Before he sprained his ankle, had a 55-point game in Minnesota that was his career high. Was off to a blazing start and then got hurt, but has come back very strong.
Tony averaging 20 a game along with 6 assists. That's Rashard Lewis. Rashard Lewis of the Magic. Orlando at 38-13, third best record in the Eastern Conference. Final minute, first quarter, and the West up by 7.
West really playing through Shaquille O'Neal.
Off the steal, Pierce has a 3-on-2. Harris gives it up. Allen wide open. Kept alive. Pierce not able to score, but a foul. Be part of NBA All-Star 2009 with your friends on Facebook. Choose your view and chat live on Facebook. Only at TNT Overtime on NBA.com. And that foul on Chauncey Billups, putting Paul Pierce at the free throw line. 85% shooter.
The last time we had Paul Pierce, the brilliant fourth quarter in Dallas, the 18 points. He had 31 in that game. Shaquille O'Neal having a seat right now as Pau Gasol comes into the game. But Paul Pierce and the Boston Celtics, what a display of what I thought championship poise the other night, and just heart in that game against Dallas on TNT. Down 15, looked like going nowhere, and came back to win that game for their 8th straight road win.
And the Celtics have won 8 of the last 10. They're now 44-11. Gasol with the reverse stuff.
Oh, you check right in, and they run a play for you.
Harris, that was a 3-point attempt, rebounded by Gasol.
Sure, the West will play for one shot.
West with a 7-point lead coming up on 10 seconds remaining in this first quarter. So posting up on Lewis. Johnson over to help. Final seconds. Here is Powell with a sweeping hook. And Pierce fires from the backcourt to end this first quarter. So the West, 15 of 28 shooting, led by Kobe Bryant, 5 of 10 with 11 points. And the East, 11 for 28. The high man, LeBron James, with 7. The West ending this opening quarter with a 26-7 spurt. Back at the U.S. Airways Center, capacity crowd better than 18,000 turning out for the 58th NBA All-Star Game. Senator John McCain and his wife Cindy, another well-known couple, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Many familiar faces on hand. There is Snoop Dogg and
Snoopy Doggy Dog.
And Ludacris.
Or Chris Bridges, his acting name.
You are so on it.
Chris Tucker right next to him.
You want to go around the arena and check others here?
Hey, the biggest person is to our left, and that's Muhammad Ali.
That's
I
correct.
don't care about anyone else in here.
Muhammad taking it all in, a couple of seats away from us. Second quarter gets underway. Ray Allen has a 3-on-2, kicks it back for a 3-point attempt that is blocked. Joe Johnson blocked by Pau Gasol. Parker with the dish. Nowitzki from Parker.
Textbook fast break. Get the ball in the middle, stop at the free throw line, and execute it and give it to one of your wing players.
The West with a 36-27 lead at one stretch. They reeled off 19 unanswered points.
A big part of that was Shaquille O'Neal, 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists while he was in the game.
Pierce backing his way. Allen is open. Just did beat the shot clock buzzer. Roy surprised by that pass, able to recover. Brandon Roy of the Portland Trailblazers playing his second All-Star game. Devin Harris showing us that dazzling speed.
That's speed versus speed. Tony Parker and Devin Harris. I'd love to see a foot race between those two guys. They're probably faster with the ball, though, than they are without it.
So what you're trying to say, that Tony should have been gone after the Guinness Book of World Records?
I don't think Tony's going to get suckered into that.
Here's Pierce protecting the ball, and he got the roll. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Reggie Miller, Craig Sager, David Aldridge working the sidelines. We are in Phoenix, Arizona, the West with a 9-point lead. Nowitzki, yes.
He creates such great space with that fading jump shot. He gets it behind his head and posting more this year over the last few games with the Rick Carlisle.
Well, this is like our game on Thursday. Paul Pierce versus Dirk Nowitzki kind of going at it in that fourth quarter.
And Nowitzki got the step block from behind by Pierce and a foul. Got the hand. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Marv, Doug mentioned you want to see that foot race between Devin Harris and Tony Parker. Devin Harris actually did go baseline to baseline with a basketball yesterday at the practice, set a Guinness World Record of 3.93 seconds. Then for the West, Tony Parker was chosen to challenge that record. However, he got a late phone call from his coach, Greg Popovich, and said, I advise you not to take part in that. So Tony decided to give Devin Harris the world record.
Vetoed from afar. Wow. Popovich has some pull.
Well, Doug mentioned as we were watching that, he wondered what the reaction of Nets coach
Lawrence Frank, yeah.
The West up by 11. We're 2 minutes in. Second quarter. Gasol jumping out at Pierce. And Pierce able to go baseline, and he is fouled.
Such a tough matchup. Somebody, either Pau Gasol or Dirk Nowitzki, has got to guard a small player. Now, you look out there, it's Rashard Lewis And basically, Paul Pierce are your power players. You got Danny Granger, Ray Allen, and Mo Williams. So this is what Mike Brown had talked about with his lack of big guys. And I think Phil Jackson, the thing for him is a lot of his big guys don't want to play a lot of minutes today, which is probably good for Phil in terms of trying to find time.
Foul committed by Gasol. You can vote for the game that you want to see on NBA TV. Special fan night voting extends through tonight's All-Star game, and results will be announced on a special episode of Inside the NBA on NBA TV following the NBA All-Star game. A couple of other reminders. Wednesday on ESPN, it is Orlando at New Orleans, followed by the Lakers, Golden State. And then next Sunday on ABC, Boston, right here at Phoenix. Coverage starts 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The West up by 9. This is Mo Williams of the Cleveland Cavaliers who just came on, rebounded by Brandon Roy. David West of the Hornets has checked in for the Western squad. Phillips way off. Gasol getting inside.
And that's going to be the West problem, is because they are so small. If you're Pau Gasol, you've got to bang on the offensive glass.
Lewis off the fake. Pierce for 3. Oh, that is a very nice rim to be shooting at.
Nice touch.
I do not speak out of experience.
Soft rims.
Ball slapped away, but it's recovered by Billups. His pass picked off. Here comes Danny Granger of the Pacers. 3-on-1. Nice pass from Williams to set it up for Allen.
Great to see Mo Williams in this game after playing so brilliantly in the first part of the season for Cleveland.
Mo, a late substitute because of the injury suffered by Chris Bosh, sidelined by that sprained right knee. And Pierce is fouled by West. How about Mo Williams? The day after he received word that, yes, he had made the All-Star team, goes out, puts up a career-high 44. That was this past Wednesday night against the Suns.
Well, Marv, you take a look at Reggie was talking about the size factor, the East versus the West. The East has taken 14 threes in this game as Paul Pierce steps to the line and looks for his 12th point of the game. The West has taken only 4. The difference is the West has 32 points in the paint to 18, so you can see the difference. The West going inside with their size and attacking, and the East spreading the floor and launching threes.
And Paul Pierce.
And what did he do when he gets to the podium? Yes, he was emotional, but wanted to thank his team. Always a team player, Miles.
And as Wade tries that little flip shot, draws the foul. Dwayne will go to the line. Foul is on Tim Duncan. Let's check in with David Aldridge.
We're here with Chris. We're here with Chris Bosh from the Toronto Raptors, injured, not playing today, but selected by the coaches to your All-Star team. Your thoughts being here this weekend?
Oh, man, you know, it's always an honor to be an All-Star. It's always great to be here and hang out with these guys. You know, we've been laughing and just hanging out all weekend.
You had Muhammad Ali in the locker room before the game. What was that feeling like?
Oh, man, he's the greatest. You know, that's one of the best, biggest sports icons of all time. And just to get to shake his hand and look into his eyes, it was very moving. I mean, he's been through a lot.
You got a new player coming into Toronto. Made the trade the other day, bringing Shawn Marion in. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think Shawn's really going to help us. Everybody knows we're struggling a little bit. We need some more wins, and we're trying to make a push for the playoffs. So, you know, I'm hoping he's going to come in and give us some help. You know, I hate to see JL go, but it's a part of the business, and you know, I guess we'll kick it in the summer.
Chris, thanks very much. Get healthy as soon as you can.
Appreciate it.
All right, Mark, back to you.
All right, David. Dwight Howard with the bucket. So the West now leads at 64-62. So Jermaine O'Neal, now a member of the Miami Heat. Stoudemire off the mark, rebounded by Howard. And Shawn Marion is a Raptor.
I spoke with Jermaine right after the trade, and he was disappointed in leaving Toronto, but excited to get down to South Beach and have a chance to play with the Flash himself, that man right there, Dwayne Wade.
The major question with Jermaine O'Neal, all the injuries that he has been hit with, Amari Stoudemire is able to put it down. 8 points for Stoudemire.
Well, if he can stay healthy, he gives the Heat something that they haven't had since Shaquille was new. You know, someone's going to block shots, intimidate in the lane, and he's a pick-and-pop player. When you run that pick and roll with Dwayne Wade, you're going to get a lot of looks.
LeBron James from downtown. That's 10 points for LeBron. Here's Paul kicking it out. Bryant. This time Garnett closing on Bryant, not allowing the three. Ball with a post-up.
Posting up Allen Iverson.
We're approaching a minute remaining in this first half. The steal by Bryant. 2-on-1. He has Stoudemire. Kind of a slow motion 2-on-1 fast break. Howard is called for the foul.
Kobe letting the play develop.
Second on Dwight Howard. There is Muhammad.
Met him on a few occasions, and just to be in his presence, yes. Coach, it's mind-blowing. It's you start thinking of everything that he has gone through, and he still puts on a brave face.
Marv, I had a chance when I was playing for the Sixers as a young player. He lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and we were at a dinner together, and I sat next to him for about 4 hours. And all he did was draw pictures of Joe Frazier and just was talking the whole time. And I actually got an autograph. I said, would you sign this for my son, Chris, who was like 2 years old at the time, 3. I went to Chris's house recently, and we had it framed up in his room. It was pretty neat.
I had a different experience with Muhammad back in my boxing days at NBC. As Dwight Howard is fouled, he will head to the line. We actually visited his home to do a feature, and all he wanted to do, he sees himself as an amateur magician.
Yes.
He kept saying, I can do levitation. And he was claiming he was doing it. I've yet to see it done. I don't know what was going through his mind. One of our staff members said, okay, I'm levitating. Never saw it. But he was a great host, and we really had a terrific time. His great sense of humor.
When people talk about true greatness, it's Muhammad Ali. True greatness.
West with a 68-67 lead. Final minute, first half. Nice play. Dunk it on the hop for one. And the ball back to the West. Well, I was wrong about Bill Russell. No hesitation about getting to that cake.
When you got 11 rings, you can do whatever you want to do, Marv. You want some cake, he's going to eat some cake.
I was thinking about it, too. He was a player coach. But I would coach if I could play like him, too. You'd be a player coach.
Pretty play. Nice reverse by Paul. Yes, Red Auerbach putting the team in his hands.
Yes. It'd be nice to be able to coach and be the best player at the same time.
Can you imagine these days being a player coach?
No.
Cannot happen.
I think a lot of players think they're doing that, but it's
some are.
Final seconds, first half. Usually teams did it to save money.
Yes, right.
Back in the 50s. And here is Paul. So that's the end of the first half. The West with a 72-67 lead. The West squad shooting 56% from the field. The High Point men, Paul Pierce, putting up 14 points in just 12 minutes. LeBron James with 10. Kobe Bryant leads the West with 13, 10 apiece for Amari Stoudemire and Pau Gasol. Let's go to Craig with Kobe.
Well, Kobe, you told us before the game, usually the intensity comes in the fourth quarter, but you guys came out from the very start, played a lot of defense, you put up a lot of shots. What was your focus going into the game?
Well, we all just want to come out and play. Just play, do what we do, and compete. I think that's what the fans really want to see. They want to see us get after it a little bit.
What was it like having Shaquille?
Well, he's a great dancer. So I've seen that all before, and it's fun being out there with him again.
How important is it for you guys to take the ball down low, get into the paint with their speed and quickness?
Oh, it's very important. We can't turn the ball over either. Turn the ball over and they're going.
All right, thanks a lot. Kobe Bryant leading the West to a lead here at the intermission. But coming up, it's the T-Mobile Halftime Report, a live performance from John Legend and a special ring ceremony. Kobe Bryant and his Olympic teammates receiving special rings for winning the gold at the 2008 Beijing Summer Games.